Ask a Phase pharmacist how he feels about his job. Dick Cousins of Phase.
One of the biggest problems today is probably drug abuse. Myself, as a professional person, feels that he has a responsibility to the public to do whatever he can to prevent and help this problem. We've talked to various groups of school children. We explain some of the actions of the drugs. We explain the danger of experimenting with drugs, and we explain some of the effects a person can have from taking drugs.
Dick Cousins cares about his job. He combines his expertise with the prescription department stocked with the freshest drugs available. For a Phase pharmacist, caring about his job is caring about you.
Many people feel that a chain store is completely impersonal. This is not true. At Phase, we do not treat people as just a number or just a dollar sale. We try to put the personal aspect into it.
Ask your Phase pharmacist. He cares about you.
Sam Dell's Dodge, 1001 West Genesee Street, the Dodge Man, invites you to see and test drive Dodge 473, the snappy little Colt, or the sporty Charger. How about the exciting Dart Swinger? Try the family-size Coronet, or explore the luxury of Polaro. See them all at Sam Dell's Dodge. And remember, nobody beats a Sam Dell Dodge deal. That's Sam Dell's Dodge, 1001 West Genesee Street, the Dodge Man.
From the lush green valleys of the Danube to the great opera houses of Europe, his music flowed. This is the story of Johann Strauss and of the dance that made him the most beloved composer of all time. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents Andrew Stone's monumental musical tribute, The Great Waltz, rated G.
See The Great Waltz, now showing at Carroll's West Hill Theater, across from Western Lights.
Former President Harry Truman remains in very critical condition this Christmas Eve. He is still in a coma, as the Truman's relatives and friends are praying for him in his biggest battle of all.
Doctors here say Mr. Truman's condition continues to be getting worse, and his wife is spending Christmas Eve at her husband's bedside. The former president has been hospitalized since December 5th, and since then, his condition has been deteriorating steadily, except for some brief rallies. His heart seems to be failing, his blood pressure has dropped, his lungs are still congested, and he is having trouble breathing. The former president has been in a coma all weekend. Hospital spokesman John Dreves, at a briefing earlier today, described his condition.
His heart is, the heart status is a little worse because he continues to have these periods of dropping blood pressure. And not only that, but now the rhythm is becoming abnormal at times. His respiration is probably about the same, maybe a little bit slower than yesterday's. And his lungs appear to be a little clearer than yesterday's. His kidney output remains unchanged.
The former president's daughter, Mrs. Margaret Truman Daniel, has not come to Kansas City, but she is being kept informed about her father's condition. Lou Davis, NBC News at Research Hospital, Kansas City.
The head of the Militant Jewish Defense League, Meir Kahane, has formally received Israeli citizenship. It clears the way for him to head a political slate in next year's parliamentary elections in Israel. Sunday selling today depended on where you were. If you were at Shopping Town DeWitt, it was almost non-existent. Day Brothers and E.W. Edwards department stores were closed, even though their officials announced a while back they would be open today in the suburbs. Those stores do oppose Sunday selling. Down the road, business was brisk indeed at Cook's Discount Store, Faye's Drugs, and Wegmans. Those places regularly do business on Sundays. People know it, and they came in large numbers today. As far as can be determined, there were no formal complaints lodged with authorities about alleged violations of the Sunday Blue laws. A Madison County youth was fatally overcome by carbon monoxide gas today while he was sleeping in his car outside his home. State police identify the victim as 19-year-old Hanford Bradley of Earlville RD2, Madison County. Relatives say he fell asleep while listening to the car radio, and the cause of death is given as a faulty exhaust system. The chief negotiator for the North Vietnamese, Xuan Thuy, says there can be no peace as long as U.S. bombings continue. He also said it was the United States which first demanded changes in the proposed peace agreement. Pope Paul left the Vatican to celebrate the arrival of Christmas among construction workers who are building one of Europe's longest railroad tunnels. Later, the pontiff celebrated midnight mass on a nearby mountain. Meanwhile, there's a return to tradition tomorrow on Christmas Day. After several years of no Catholic Latin masses on Christmas, there will be one church in all of central New York that is going to hold a mass in Latin tomorrow. It's at the Assumption Church on North Salina Street. It begins at 11 in the morning. WSYR Radio will broadcast the service live from the church.
For shopping convenience, it's Shoppingtown on the east, Fairmount Fair on the west. The 40 stores and merchants at Shoppingtown feature the finest merchandise and services available anywhere in central New York. At Fairmount Fair, the beautiful enclosed mall means 72-degree comfort, perfect for leisurely shopping any time of the year. Shop Shoppingtown on the east, Route 690 to exit 3W and Deary Boulevard East. And Fairmount Fair on the west, Route 5 West Genesee Street. Two great centers for one great community.
This is a model of Carrier Tower at Money Plaza. And right down here is where you'll find the Chase Manhattan Bank. Chase is here in Syracuse with a wide variety of personal, auto, and commercial loans. Commercial loans for small businesses as well as big ones. We've come to Syracuse because we believe in its future and want to be a part of its growth. So come on in for a free gift and find out that you have a friend at Chase Manhattan.
The new Little Home Winemaker, a complete home winemaking kit and beverage dispenser. What a Christmas gift for just $7.77.
Available at Carl's Drugs.
There's a report that a Liberian cargo ship with 30 men aboard is sinking in heavy seas 800 miles south of Kodiak, Alaska. A Coast Guard plane circled the area, however, but could not find the ship. One of the most touching Christmas Eve stories can be found at the home of a Northside Syracuse man. George Roberts tells that story.
Frank DeMarco, 61, of Butternut Street, has assembled an impressive nativity scene. DeMarco is a retired mason who started gathering hand-painted pieces 22 years ago to fill out the nativity scene. He's lost his sight in one eye, and this may be the last year he'll be able to see even a little out of the other. Mr. DeMarco wanted you and me to see his magnificent nativity scene and explains where he got his inspiration.
Well, reading different verses in the Bible and different books that I came across over a period of years, I gained knowledge, see, and this took 7 years to develop to its present state.
And what are you going to do next year?
Well, hopefully, if I'm able to see, I'll put it up again, but this may be the last year. And I'd like to thank the New York State Commission for the Visually Handicapped for all the help they've given me, and to Mr. John Emperor and John Sirocco, the counselors who have helped me, and my instructor, Mrs. Carol Seidberg, who is a wonderful teacher. She has opened up many avenues that are of great help to us. She taught both my wife and I how to get around without too much trouble.
Another tragic part, 28 years ago this date, Mr. DeMarco and his wife brought their newborn son home from the hospital, the only child. 2.5 years ago, that son was killed in a work accident. Now, Mr. DeMarco is threatened with total blindness, yet he remains calm, his deep religious conviction bolstering him for what lies ahead. And that's not really the best way to get into the weather, Bill, but yet on Christmas Eve, we talk of reaffirmation of deep religious conviction, and so we felt in that way it was appropriate. What is the weather going to be on Christmas Day, Bill?
Well, Jerry, little change in the weather or the temperatures are expected before Monday night. A cold front extending down the St. Lawrence Valley is weak with only a little light rain or snow associated with it. Christmas Day will see temperatures a little cooler with almost no change in the weather till nightfall when a low-pressure system moving in from the northern plains may bring a chance of light rain or wet snow. Details in a moment.